Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Answer is Yes podcast, where we will explore the cause and effect of just saying yes in your everyday life or in business. I will dig into topics that are not just stimulating, but will challenge you to be better in everything you do. The podcast is based on the simplicity of saying yes to opportunities you might encounter every single day. I'm your host, Jim Riley. Join me in my first series titled Blue Collar Redefined. Hello and welcome to the Answer is Yes podcast. I really appreciate everybody listening in. Kind of took a little bit of a break last week and did we did a re-air of one of my more favorite shows with Bricia Lopez out from LA with her Oaxacan restaurant and her story of success. So thank you for tuning in for that. We did have a lot of downloads there, so I know the show went over really well again. We're off to a good start this week and trying to enjoy this wonderful weather we have coming through Southern California right now. And as you are aware, as our listeners, we have a number of different types of guests, and today is no different than any other week, and we hope to get you informed and have a keen understanding of a different industry. So today, I've got Jack Gibson on the line, and he's got a great story to tell. Jack, how are you today?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. Appreciate being on.
Yeah, I've had this fortunate benefit of doing this podcast, and I've got a number of people that reach out to me, and you've got a wonderful person behind you. Her name is Delicia Williams. She's from the Expert Bookers, and she reached out to me. She said, hey, Jack's going to be a great fit for your show. She's listened in a couple times, so let's thank her for connecting us. But, tell us a little bit about the business that you're in real quick, and then I want to dig into your history.
Yeah, absolutely. Currently, I have a company called High Return Real Estate. We started about 3 years ago, and we basically are called a turnkey real estate investment company. So what that entails is essentially we do all the heavy lifting with our systems and processes to deliver a client a cash flow finished producing property. So we do all the acquisitions, the rehab, the inspections and additional repairs, and then lease up the property, manage it post-sale. And so essentially the investor is buying a performing asset, a streaming cash flow.
So in other words, if I wanted to invest into real estate, you guys would be the guys to go to, so I didn't have to do a whole lot of heavy lifting, it sounds like.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, turnkey has really kind of made a pretty big wave over the last few years because there's so many professionals that are so busy in their respective careers, and they're much better served if they just stay in their lane and focus on what they're good at versus trying to divert bandwidth and energy and resources away from that to try to become an active real estate investor. So we've opened up the ability for, thousands and thousands of people that otherwise couldn't do it and don't have the time, energy, even the interest to become active, to be able to take on all the benefits of real estate investing without actually getting their hands dirty, so to speak.
Well, it's kind of like me. I know I'd like to be a stock broker and investor, but I don't know anything about that world. I'd probably lose all my money. So I have a financial planner that does that for me, and I just send him my check, and I see the nice returns from that. So it seems a little bit similar to that.
Yes, I'd say a pretty similar process for sure. And and I'm with you on that as well. I mean, if people are spending their entire day, like a financial planner, looking at the numbers and, evaluating stocks and all of that, like why not allow them to do what they're really good at and help you make, better informed decisions. And that's the way we look at what we do. We spend our team of, we have a lot of people on our team that this is what we do all day long. So we're helping to mitigate a lot of the risks that a normal newbie real estate investor would be experiencing.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like an exciting business to be in and a great place for somebody to invest their money if they're looking at getting into real estate. I know that you've had some success in your business, and I would love to hear kind of your pathway to the success. And Maybe we can go back a little bit in history for you, a little bit of a flashback, flashback Monday here. Where did business start for you? Were you the guy that started as a paper boy, working for your parents in the yard, or did you wait till you got out of high school or college to start your working career?
Yeah, definitely a great question. I mean, taking it all the way back to when I was, actually probably 14, 15. I did everything I could to try to avoid getting a job. A lot of my friends were getting, jobs at local marinas or, grew up on a lake in Ohio. And I didn't really want to do that. Like I wanted to, just focus on sports and, not have to work. So, but, I knew I needed to generate, money somehow. So I was always looking at ways, entrepreneurial things, started a lawn mowing business, started a car detailing business. And the thing that really turned me to where I knew, my deep inside my core, that I was always going to be an entrepreneur. One summer in between college, I went to my uncle's farm and I was helping him clear off farmland that he had just purchased. And that's really hard work, right? And I turned in a timesheet for 20 hours, and every minute was like painful and agonizing to me. So I was really proud of what I did and how hard I worked. And he gave me $100, and I'm like, what just happened?
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't even believe it, because about a couple months before that, I just started in my nutrition distribution business. I was started as a kind of like a independent sales rep in a nutrition company.
Mm-hmm.
And I had sold a nutrition package for $200, and I made $100 in a half hour. So at that moment right there, it was very, very clear to me that profits are always better than wages. So I knew that I knew for sure that I was never going to work for anybody else again from that moment on. And I have never received a W-2 since then.
Okay, so what age were you when that happened?
I was 19, so I had started in that company part-time while I was going to college. Another college student was handing out flyers in the dorms about this new nutrition product. His parents had just gotten some really incredible weight loss results. So I was really one thing, there's never really advancement in life if you're always just skeptical and you don't take a look at opportunities as they come before you. So I took a look and actually found out I loved what I saw and loved the concept and what the business model was all about. So I started that for my dorm and built that up. It took about a year to get any sort of momentum and confidence going. It was a really rough start. But from month 12 to month 24, grew it to $1 million in sales operation. I was making more money than my college professors.
Oh my gosh.
And so I've been doing that business ever since. I mean, I've had that business going for 21 years. And we actually just had a monstrous month here in March. It was our biggest month in sales in that company ever. So that's a 10 million plus annual revenue business. Will probably hit 15 million plus this year. You
decided you'd never work for a wage again because of the difference between, the money you made in the two opportunities. That's a great lesson to learn early in life, especially if you want to figure out how you want to spend your time.
Yeah, I think, from a very young age, I was, 22, and I'm certainly doing pretty well. I mean, we had our ups and downs, and when I graduated college, I went into the nutrition business full time, and then a lot of adversity hit. We had to pull our best-selling product off the market. It started to get controversial, no safety issues or anything, but just due to controversy. We lost our founder. I mean, it was just a really, I think 6-7 things happened all at once.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had a period of time for a good 6-7 years where, I mean, I'm working, 50, 60, 70 hours a week, and it's not growing at all. At times it was declining. So I can't paint this rosy picture that my, entrepreneurial career in either company, in high return real estate and my nutrition company, have been just a straight linear upward track. It's not even been close to that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've had a lot of difficulty that we've had to overcome. But, the one thing that I can only say is that, winners, when they make up their mind, they make decisions quickly and they stick to them and change their minds very slowly. And unsuccessful people, they tend to take a long time to make their decisions, to say yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then they change them. They change their minds very quickly. So I got that from Napoleon Hill's classic Think and Grow Rich. It's straight from one of the key concepts that he teaches.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you know what, I'm gonna stick to these things that I started and see them through to completion, even though as an entrepreneur, I'm much more of a starter than I am a finisher.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, I get excited about starting new projects and new things, new companies, but at the end of the day, you have to see things through to fruition, even when, the going gets tough. I think that's the most important time, is when you're tested, to see what kind of resilience and perseverance you have to stick through on what you said yes to.
Yeah. You've said so many things that resonate with me just now because of my own career and the things that I've done. For example, saying yes to things quickly and then staying after it. Because I think you're right. People that take a long time to make decisions, they suffer from that sometimes. Maybe they miss the boat on the opportunity because they took too long.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, opportunities, when they come, I mean, it's like you got to grasp them. You got to take hold of them, and oftentimes they come disguised as hard work, right? So, that's what most people kind of shy away from, I think. Either that, or I think a lot of times it's just fear. It's maybe a lot of it is just being comfortable. And I think it's, the best times to say yes to things is probably, for most people, is when they're kind of in a down moment. And so I always tell people, like, some of the most important points of your life is when things aren't going your way, because those are the times that you're willing to make really difficult but necessary changes. And when you're just comfortable and things are going okay or things are going good, that is sometimes that's the worst thing that can actually happen to you. So I'm all about, helping people understand, if you want to live an extraordinary life, you can design it, but the key word is design. It doesn't happen by chance.
Yeah, it's interesting. I interviewed a gentleman on the show a few weeks ago who's a world traveler in a Defender 90, and he said the best parts of his trip were the parts when he broke down, because it gave him the opportunity to look around, meet some people, have some new learnings and understandings of the culture and where he was at. And he said without the breakdown, which seemed severe at the time, he wouldn't have had that high return on the relationship building. I think business is a lot like that too. Like you said, when you're going through the tough times, you get crystal clear on what's needed to build your business or be successful, or where maybe you even need to trim the fat a little bit to make more profit to keep the business going. And as you said, it's often overlooked as hard work.
Yeah, for sure. For example, in high return real estate, we've, to get to our model to where we're at today, we definitely had to take some hits. And specifically, probably the biggest hits that we took were in building up a trusted, set of contractors that would actually go out and do quality work that they were paid to do.
Mm-hmm.
And we were literally taken for, thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars that we paid in work that just was never performed. And then we had an obligation to our investors, so we dug in and figured out a way to, complete our bargain and keep our word, which is extremely important in business, is to always keep your word with other people, no matter how much it may cost you or how painful it may be. But we kept our word with our investors and, completed the work that we were supposed to complete, even though others did not keep their word with us.
Yeah.
And so that was the most painful part of growing this business, but now, we've arrived at where